Hello again, my name is Morgan Miyake, and as part of the Busy 255 MIS module, I will be discussing this week's case, Cloud Storage and Document Management, how a new generation of companies is shaping the enterprise content management industry. So as the title implies, this case involves the enterprise content management industry, or ECM, and this encompasses organizing, managing, and storing all digital works of a company. So the major incumbents were IBM, OpenText, EMC, and Microsoft. And these companies put together made up nearly 43% share of the ECM market. So there were a lot of changes going on in the industry which were putting stress on these larger companies. The first was the overall transition to SaaS and cloud computing, which we discussed in the previous two cases. The second was the emergence of tablets and smartphones into the market. More and more employees are bringing these mobile devices into the workplace, and there was a greater demand for the ability to carry out work processes on multiple devices. Another major transition involved file sharing, and teams working on large files together created a demand for the ability to share files and collaborate. Startup companies like Box and Dropbox created services to address these issues, and they made these processes user-friendly and accessible on multiple workstations across multiple devices. So other startups joined Box and Dropbox in the industry, which disrupted the major incumbents by taking different approaches. Generally, they were able to focus on private users or small and medium-sized businesses. Google, for example, added real-time collaboration to its existing offerings, such as Google Drive. Because it was already so successful, it was able to offer a lot lower prices through subsidizing, making it a strong competitor. Ignite was another emerging startup. It not only offered cloud computing, but also a hybrid cloud infrastructure for online file storage that could be accessed through the cloud or on-premise. It was able to cater their products towards small, medium, and large businesses, which was a competitive advantage in the industry. So in order to deal with the growing competition in the ECM market, the incumbents had a few options, and one was through acquiring some of the smaller companies. This was beneficial because each could offer its unique expertises. So the large companies would be able to offer high security and had already well-established relationships with CIOs of the customers. The small companies, on the other hand, were able to offer specialization in cloud computing, as well as the simplicity that many companies were starting to prefer. So for example, EMC acquired Syncplicity in 2012, and IBM acquired SoftLayer in 2013, as well as Stasia Image Systems Limited in 2013. So there were some pros and cons to these acquisitions, and both of which could be explored through EMC's acquisitions alone. So in 2014, EMC also integrates with the previously mentioned Ignite. Ignite was able to gain a large new customer base to sell to, as EMC was one of the leaders in the ECM industry. And this would be crucial for Ignite because it was projected to be cash flow neutral by the end of 2014. And EMC, on the other hand, also benefited because it was able to expand its services to its customers. The cons, however, can be seen with EMC selling its previously acquired Syncplicity in 2015. Although it seemed like a strategic move in the beginning, EMC was ultimately unable to integrate the two business models. For example, the sales team didn't adapt well and couldn't align the long sales cycles of the cloud software market with meeting their hardware sales quotas that already existed. So this case provides a clear example of the necessity for businesses to be able to adapt to changing industries. The large companies surely felt the pressures of the growing demand for the services that smaller companies were able to provide. The key in combating this, although with its setbacks as seen with EMC, I feel is through these acquisitions. I think the incumbents need to continue to try to acquire these smaller companies as they'll be able to utilize their established client base with enterprises while also being able to expand their services to adapt to the growing cloud market. And a key in this would be establishing better integration than as was seen with EMC and Syncplicity. It seems from this case we can see that it is important for employees and especially the sales teams to be properly trained and on board with these new products. This could even mean requiring separate divisions with clearly defined goals and services to focus on while benefiting the entire company overall. So I think if companies are able to successfully cater to the needs of both small and medium businesses as well as the larger enterprises, they'll be able to continue profiting from the established ECM market and also from the emerging cloud market.